Oh, I'm praying. Have you ever prayed?
Yes, honestly.
So have I. It's okay.
I have, honestly. I've been like, God, why? Please.
You don't believe in God, though, do you? Or do you?
Oh, man.
I'm not. This doesn't have to go in. I'm just
I don't
genuinely
care
curious.
if it goes in.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like religion is one of those topics, you know? Honestly, bro, I think that the reason I don't, well, I mean, not the one reason, but a reason I'm not religious is because of all the flack that trans and LGBTQ people get in religion.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if I grew up exposed to, like, the positive aspects of religion, then maybe.
See, but, like, are there any positives, though?
I don't think, I think it's cult-like. I really do.
See, I believe in God.
Me too.
But I do not believe in, like, the church and, like, Christianity or
Me
Catholicism or anything.
either.
But I believe in God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
I feel that. I mean, I think that there's something, you know? What do you think happens, like, after we're gone?
I don't know, and I think that's why I'm afraid to die.
Well, everybody's afraid of the unknown, you know?
Yeah.
That's normal.
I'd like to believe. I don't know if I would call it heaven.
No, I wouldn't call it that.
But I think that you
Go somewhere?
go somewhere nice.
I think
I'd like
so.
to think.
Do you think that you know how we get deja vu sometimes?
I think that has to do with,
Do
like...
you think we get, like, we relive?
Sometimes, I don't know if it's, like... Sometimes I feel like deja vu is... I've, like, dreamt about it. Because when I feel deja vu, I'm like, I feel like I was here in a dream.
Yeah. It is a weird feeling like that.
I think I'm, like, predicting the future in my dreams, low-key. I think I have superpowers.
You know you can lucid dream?
Yeah, dude. Have you ever?
Have you ever tried to do that? You have to, like, learn how, I think.
The closest... yeah, it's like a process. The closest I've ever gotten to lucid dreaming is knowing that I was dreaming and then, like, being like, well, fuck, it's just a dream.
In your dream?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
It was actually really sad. I was like, I was trying to look for somebody and I found them and then I hugged them and I was like really happy to like be with them. And then when I was hugging them, I was like, no, this isn't real. Like this is a dream, isn't it? And then that person was like, yeah, it's a dream. And I was like, whoa. And then I started crying and then I like woke up crying. Yeah.
I've woken up crying before. I've woken up in distress, like sweating, like always.
Dude,
I mean, I
when you wake up
crying,
when you wake up crying, do you ever feel dumb? I wake up and there's tears coming down my face and I'm like, what is happening?
I always
am I
just
crying?
continue crying because I'm like, it felt so real. I feel like it's real. I'm always just like, well, I'm still depressed, but like it was just a dream. Like
it wasn't real. But do you ever like talk in your sleep or anything?
Oh yeah. I used to.
Yeah.
I used to sleepwalk.
You sleptwalk?
Dude, I was in St. Thomas. And my parents, at every family gathering, they always talk about this. I don't know why. But it was fucking scary, bro. I was 12 years old in St. Thomas in a fucking Virgin Island. And
I've been there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
It is nice.
And my other cousin, had a condo. And so we would go every year. And so they literally dead bolted the door that we slept in. So there was an outside door in our room and it was all the kids in one room. Mm-hmm. And they double locked the door. I don't know what happened. I got out, walked down to the beach.
That's dangerous, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Don't play with the ocean.
I was on like a balcony, like when I came back. Like, I went to the beach, came back. I was on a balcony, and I'm looking down, and that part was in my dream, and then I wake up.
And you were standing.
And I was standing outside in my underwear, and then I go knocking on doors, because I don't know my room number.
Oh.
So I'm knocking on the doors. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. And luckily, I found it back to my room, and I was just like, my dad opened the door half asleep, and I just got in bed.
Bro, where were you trying to go? You
I have
any
no
idea?
I had a dream. I was on the beach, and then I was on the beach. And then I was walking back to my room.
That's absolutely
Is that fucking
crazy.
scary?
No, sleepwalking scares me. I don't think I've ever sleptwalked. That's crazy though.
It's not. I used to do it a lot though. Like even at home, I would come downstairs, and I would legit stand in front of my parents and try to ask them a question that didn't make any sense, and they would just walk me back upstairs.
How did they know you were like sleeping?
I guess I just wasn't like making any sense. My brother still talks in his sleep.
I talk in my sleep all the fucking
Do you?
time. All the time.
How do you know it though if you're sleeping?
The thing is, though, I wake myself up
By
when I'm sleep
talking,
talking.
yeah.
And then, like, I'll be sleep talking, and then in the middle of my sentence, I wake up. So, like, I'm asleep, I'm talking, and then I wake up talking. And then by the end of the sentence, I'm like, what the hell is coming out of my mouth right now? And I only at least wake up from it. I want to say I only sleep talking when other people are in the room with me when I'm sleeping, but I think I just wake up when other people are in the room with me.
Yes. You know, there's like a thing when you're sleeping with other people, like if you have a sleepover or something, there's like a thing where like your body does weird stuff when you sleep. Like it's almost like an instinct that we have, like if we're in an unnatural environment.
Yeah.
Our
maybe
body
that's why.
won't sleep good. Like it would
Maybe
be
I
awake.
do only talk in my sleep when people are around.
Kind of crazy.
It's embarrassing though.
Why?
Because then I wake up and I'm like, God, I hope nobody
God.
heard that. Because I say the dumbest shit.
That's funny. That's funny. Have you died in your sleep?
Oh yeah.
In your dream? I have too. People say you don't. Your body wakes you up as soon as you're gonna die, but I've literally gotten shot and died. Like I've gotten shot by bullets in my dreams. Like
Actually, maybe I haven't like gotten to the point where I'm like croaked. Like
Okay.
maybe like I was about to die and then I woke up.
and then you woke up.
Yeah.
I've fallen off cliffs and mid fall I'll wake
That's
up.
terrifying.
Yeah.
The feeling of
The
falling.
yo. Sometimes that'll just jolt me awake, like when I'm trying to fall asleep.
I read somewhere, and I don't know if this is true but isn't it like it's your brain's way of like making sure that you're still like breathing or something? I read somewhere
really?
that like you're. This is probably so wrong. I probably saw
Don't
on
fact check
TikTok.
us.
But I saw that like your breathing just gets like so slow that your brain it just like
Could be.
makes you feel like you're falling to like make sure you're good or
That's
some shit.
weird. But anytime I get jolted awake from that, it's always the same scenario going on. It's always me falling off a cliff. Or like
Is it always
falling.
a cliff? Because sometimes I just be falling. Like,
I
just
think it's
sitting and
falling.
then
Yeah,
I
I think it's just falling. Yeah, but
I
a
don't know
lot
what
of the
happens.
vivid memories I have, it's always a cliff or I'm falling off of like a mountain or something.
Are you afraid of heights?
I have developed a little fear of heights, honest. And I used to not have any fear of heights.
I used to thought I had a fear of heights. I don't think I do though.
You don't.
I don't think so. I mean, like if I'm like on the top of a skyscraper looking down, I'm not gonna be happy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's gonna be
Like,
scary. Yeah. I think when I got into rock climbing, it went away a little bit.
Rock climbing. I tried rock climbing on a cruise ship one time with my friend. I got up like 5 feet. I was like, this is not for me.
No.
That's when I thought I was afraid of heights.
Yeah.
Rock climbing is just hard though.
I love it. Love it.
Love it, love it. It takes a lot of strength. I mean, like
Dude, you could get yoked.
yoked.
I'm gonna say that now. You get yoked.
What's it like to be yoked?
I don't know.
You are yoked.
I'm not really that
You're
yoked.
kind of yoked.
I wish I was yoked.
You low-key yoked. Loki, you kind of yoked.
There were yesterday, like after I was working and stuff, like I had like so many, because I know before, like we were talking about, we had a conversation about like, all right, what should we talk about? And I think the question of that we had talked about when we hung out, like, do you need gender dysphoria to be trans? Like I think I honestly, as I was transitioning, felt an extreme way about that. And now, like, after, I think just getting a lot of perspectives, I might have, like, a different view. But, like, how do you feel about that?
The topic of do you need to have
Dysphoria
gender dysphoria to be trans,
trans.
is a
It's a hot topic in our community.
that's a big topic.
Yeah.
It's
It's a dividing topic.
it is a dividing topic.
That's like a draw the line in the sand.
Yeah, I don't know. For a long time, I did think that you needed dysphoria to be trans.
I did
and like,
too. I used to think that too.
I don't I don't know. I am more on the side of yes, you do need it, just
Yeah.
because I don't understand the other side of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's a lot of things, you know? I don't think I understand it fully either. I think the more I meet trans people who don't have textbook dysphoria, or like maybe they get top surgery because one part about themselves is dysphoria inducing, but like everything else they're completely okay with.
But I feel like that's different though, because they still have dysphoria. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you don't have
That's
any
true.
dysphoria at all, why?
Then how is it being trans?
Yeah. Then like if you aren't uncomfortable with your body, why do you want to change it, or why do you want to be the other gender? I don't know. Like that's just confusing to me. Like if you.
But is it a binary? It's not. Is it always a binary thing? Because like some people get top surgery just to feel more non-binary.
That's true. That is true.
And I think I'm very conditioned to think of being trans as binary because I am a binary trans like person. Like I'm a trans guy, and I always see it like trans guys, trans girls.
But like, how would? I guess I get it in the sense of non-binary people that go by they them. But like in my head, like I'm thinking, okay, what if a person born female wants to transition to become a trans male? How? And they don't, like, if they don't have dysphoria, if they are not uncomfortable in the body that they have, why? What makes them want to transition?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I think, and what I guess I've heard from other people is that like it's not always about the medical transition piece. Like sometimes it's social, like, and sometimes it's just like exploring their gender identity. I guess like you know, I know there's trans people that they consider themselves trans and they just like sometimes they feel more masculine, so they go by he him. And then, like, sometimes they feel more feminine and go by she, her. And, like, they consider themselves trans regardless of if they've had a medical transition, legal transition, you know. And that's what I think opens up my mind to those sorts of things because I'm like, for me, I always think of dysphoria leading to medical transition leading to, like, okay, I'm trans.
Right. But, like, you don't need surgeries and you don't need hormones to be trans. That's a thing. But, like, if somebody doesn't want top surgery, I don't know. Like, if somebody doesn't want top surgery because they don't have gender dysphoria.
Can you have social dysphoria, though?
Yeah, I guess. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought of that. Like, I really only thought of it as a medical thing. Like, I thought of, like, you have to be so uncomfortable with your body to have gender dysphoria. Like, I picture gender dysphoria as that.
I guess that's
I'm going to look up what it actually means. Like, because I don't even know if I know, like, what the definition consists of.
I think the definition is, like, something about being born in the wrong body.
Gender dysphoria is a term that describes a sense of unease that a person may have because of a mismatch between their biological sex and their gender identity. The sense of unease or dissatisfaction may be so intense it could lead to depression and anxiety and have a harmful impact on daily life. So, yeah, we know that. But, okay. But you can still say that social dysphoria is linked to that.
Yeah, I mean, gender dysphoria comes in many different ways.
Yeah.
It's not just about your body. It's there's a million different ways gender dysphoria can
manifest.
100%.
Like
from being in a group of people.
Yep.
To, I don't know, just fucking waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
Like,
and just the way society perceives you. Like,
yeah.
I mean, a good example is like I used to think too, like, medical transitions are for like binary trans people, and that is so wrong. Like, because I know personally people who are non-binary who have gotten top surgery and even want bottom surgery, like on the masculine end of the spectrum, but they still know that they're not a man. Like, they're just non-binary.
Because at a point, like, your body doesn't define your gender.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
That's
Like,
very true.
It's just the way you want your body to be. It doesn't
Exactly.
have to be masculine, and it doesn't have to be feminine. You know what I mean? If you don't want boobs, cut them off.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're male.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. But society has like their own
Right.
standards of what. Like, I feel like society, I mean, obviously it starts when we come out of the womb. Like, they look at your body and they go, you're this, you're that. And that's like where it stems from, you know?
How do you, kind of off topic question, but some people want to raise their children as without a gender.
That's a good topic. And I hate gender reveals. I mean, I had one for myself. When I was 21.
Like, that's different.
That I'm proud of because, you know, I didn't get to have that.
Oh, yeah.
But
is it making it more confusing
for the kid? To be gender neutral growing up?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any harm in gender neutral language. Like, I don't care if I'm walking down the street and everybody's default is to say they.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, really don't care.
That's like the normal thing to do when you don't know someone's gender.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
I would never have a gender reveal for my kid, but I don't know if I would like raise them as they, them.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't, just because I feel like it's something for somebody to figure out themselves.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean?
If let's say like we're gendering our kid, right?
We have a kid together?
Yeah, we have a kid. We're gendering our kid based on their assigned sex at birth. So, honestly, the only thing that... I don't see anything wrong with that. I think there's something wrong when that kid turns around and tells you something different and you're like, no.
Well, yeah.
That's where, like, I don't think it's bad to necessarily gender your kid as they're little and not knowing like anything really about that.
Right.
But once they hit like 4 or 5 and they really like start exploring who they are, like you can be whoever. Yeah. At that point.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't like it when people look down on the people who do want to raise their kids as non-binary.
No, yeah.
I know
because,
people.
Like,
why do we care about other people's kids?
But we shouldn't. We care about other people's everything.
Oh my God.
Everything. I was driving behind a car yesterday and had a sticker on it that says, the Constitution shouldn't be rewritten, it should be reread. And I'm like, these people, like, where do they get off, bro? Like, it's because you're a cisgender, heterosexual, white male. And so the Constitution is built for you. The Constitution wants you to thrive. And the Constitution doesn't want us to thrive.
That is facts. And I don't know what it is about old cis white men and women that want to...
Even women.
That want to live by something that was written down...
By men. Millions of years ago.
And the same goes for the Bible, too.
Fuck the Bible, bro. I mean, I can't understand the logic behind, like, it basically could have been a fiction book, for all we know. And people are living by it.
People pretend that God actually wrote it. It was just written by, like, a regular
person,
dude.
Bro.
A
person. And it got reinterpreted countless amounts of times.
On what that person believed.
Exactly. It's
biased.
Not facts. It's like reading a book. It's biased, and you shouldn't take it
people fucking
for what it says.
Like, oh, my God.
Dude, and, you know, it really gets me when I see... Like, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene, like, she's like, Republican, that's like huge on the NRA and like guns and like trans people are stupid. Like, and I'm like, dude, even though you're white and cis and like straight, like, you're a woman. Like, you don't have rights. Like, I don't understand. I don't know what you don't understand about that. Yeah. Like, I don't understand how any woman can feel okay being on the right side when there's literally the men on that side wanting to take away their rights.
Yeah, it's like when women believe that they don't deserve rights. Do you know those?
Some women believe that?
Oh yeah, like they're, you know, I think these like interviewers, I see them on TikTok all the time. They go to like Trump rallies and they stand there with a microphone and like interview Trump supporters.
Yeah.
And I I think I liked one. I kind of want to show it, but like they say the craziest things. And where was I going with that?
Women don't deserve rights. People think that women don't deserve rights.
Yeah, there was one Trump supporter who was a woman, and
oh god,
the interviewer was like, "Do you think we should have a woman president?"
And she said no.
And she was like, "No, like that's a man's job."
No.
And she was like, women have periods and like they'll get too emotional and like.
Oh
when she's menstruating, we'll end up in a war.
Oh my god! Yeah, and when a guy gets aggressive, we'll end up in a war too. So,
dude, and men are like way bigger babies than women are for the majority.
Yeah, come on. And I hate to stereotype gender stuff, but like that's a fact. Mm-hmm. And yo, you know how we were talking about last week too? How like I remember texting you this week, and I was like. Even cis like kids that are men, like that are boys, like growing up and like after they're like men and stuff, like they're conditioned in the society where like they can really say whatever and do whatever, and like people will turn the other cheek. But if a girl does the same thing, it's like a problem. Mm-hmm. Like we were in a restaurant and these guys were like screaming something. Like these grown ass men were screaming something.
Oh yeah, we went out for tacos and
it was a packed ass place.
It was a packed restaurant, and these like 4 old white cis men, one of them like walked to the bathroom or something, and like from across the entire restaurant, they're screaming at each other over everyone's heads.
Yeah,
and I looked at you and I was like, like. If like a woman did this or somebody that just didn't look like them,
exactly,
it would be like, oh, those people are rude, those people are weird. But since it was them, nobody batted a freaking eye. Like,
I bet you if we did it, they would be like,
that was kind of rude.
Yeah, exactly. Or like, you screaming in a public place, bro.
Mm-hmm. It's
like,
cis male privilege.
Yeah, it's actually really nuts. Like, and there's parents that condition their kids to think of gender as like the stereotype of like, okay, yeah, he can do this, but like, no, you can't do that. You're a girl. Like, you can't act like that.
And you know what? That's a whole thing. Like, people say that we or trans women or even gay people like are confusing children when it's like, I don't know. If a kid came up to me and was like, "Are you a boy or a girl?" I'd be like, "I'm a boy."
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Okay."
Yeah, they don't care.
It's not confusing. You tell a kid straight up exactly what something means.
Exactly.
In a simple way.
Yep.
And they'll listen, and they won't like even have to ask questions about it. They'll accept it, and they'll start playing with their toys. Like, but then like when I don't know, I feel like it's the parents that are confused, making their kids confused rather than their kids just being confused.
It's the parents having this. Misconception about what it means to like know your gender identity and know who you are, and also like thinking that that's a bad thing. Like it's not a bad thing. And honestly, your kid, you might want to let your kid be who they are at 6 years old, because when they hit 14, 15, it's freaking harder to be themselves. Mm-hmm. Like if I'm coming out in middle school, I'm having a harder ass time than if I was 6 years old in first grade, where nobody bats an eye. They don't care who I am.
That is true.
But people get mean. Kids get mean like as they're teens, like.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're a child like 6 years old and you know that you're trans or something,
you can tell all the kids in your class that, and they're not going to care.
They wouldn't care.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's like a thing. Like that's for real. Like I even know I like had the privilege of like meeting. Well, I was like talking at this thing. I was at a school like talking to a class, and there was a 6-year-old who was there too, talking about her story of like being trans, and she had said like, and even her mom had said when she had come out, the school gave them a harder time than the kids in the school did. Like, the school made it hard for her to come in with her chosen name. The school made it hard for her to tell her teachers that she was trans. Like, it's all like it's an appearance thing. Like, everybody's scared of how they come off, how they appear, how they're perceived.
Because, again, everyone's afraid for the kids.
Yeah.
When the kids are fine. And it's just like...
Why is it scary to be exposed to a trans person? Why are we scary? Like, what is scary about us? I don't get that.
It hurts. It hurts my soul.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I get worrying. I don't get, but I get worrying about your own kids. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like, your kid is fine, but don't tell me about my kid and what I should do with my kid.
Yeah,
you know what I
facts.
mean? Like,
Facts.
I don't know. That whole generation is, like, so worried about, like, drag queens and children being exposed to them. I saw, like, another Trump rally interview where it's like, okay, what's more dangerous, drag
God.
queens or guns?
And people said drag queens.
Every single one of them said drag queens.
Okay, so how many people get killed at a drag?
Exactly.
At a drag show?
Nobody's died from drag.
Yeah.
Like,
What trans?
except for murder.
Not even trans. Like what? Yeah. What drag person has killed somebody?
with a gun.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, how many white kids have killed people with guns?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then one of them. This is a topic, but one of them was like. Again, didn't know the difference between drag queen and
Being
trans
trans.
person, and she goes, "Oh, she was talking about drag queens and guns. Which one is worse?" And she goes, "Oh yeah, and you know that and I hate this word, that transvestite that shot up the school the other day."
That's a big topic, bro. That was something I wanted to speak up on so bad.
It's rough because there were so many school shootings before that one.
Before a trans person decided to shoot a school. And that was the one in where was that one?
Nashville?
Was it?
Nashville? I think it was Nashville.
When that happened, dude, I had a lot to say. And like I was honestly scared to say it, but I'm not even scared to say it. Like, this is what happens when you grow up with hate.
Yeah.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, like that should have never happened. No kid deserves to be in that situation. Like, not for the shooter. I'm saying like the kids in the school.
There's no excuse
There
for
is no
shooting up a
excuse.
school. There's
Absolutely
no excuse.
not. But this is an example of what hate does to our kids.
Yeah, but that person is not the only one at fault. It is not entirely that person's fault.
Exactly
if that
what I
person
said.
didn't get bullied, if that person got the gender affirming care that they deserved
Exactly.
and were treated with respect,
Exactly.
I can tell you hands down that shooting wouldn't have happened.
And how do you think that kid is feeling going through like Christian conservative school, probably where they can't just walk in and be themselves?
All comes back to religion.
Yeah, and the political climate of wherever that took place, if it was Tennessee or wherever it was, like the political climate of the South makes it near impossible to be a trans person and be happy. Mm-hmm. It just does. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a website you can go on and it'll tell you every bill in every state that's being proposed right now to take away trans people's rights. And there's over hundreds of them.
Mm-hmm. And now every right-winged person, I feel like, is solely blaming the shooting on the fact that they were trans.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, the shooting happened because they were bullied.
Exactly.
Not because they were trans.
And listen, like, nobody will ever know what was going through the person's head, you know?
No
but
excuse.
Like,
you don't get... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There's just no excuse. I don't want to sit here and say, like, oh, that poor person. Like, I don't feel sympathy for them.
I feel empathy. I do, because I know what bullying can do to you as a trans person.
Right. There's no excuse there. That shouldn't have happened. But like, again, they're not the only one at fault.
And dude, like I don't care what you've done. Like I've said about Caitlyn Jenner. I don't care how bad of a person you are. If you're going to acknowledge that this kid is trans, then put them on TV and gender them correctly and don't dead name them. Like, I don't care what they've done, because that's just setting a precedent of respect. Like, that person has rights like everybody else does. Like, and I know, like, I'll get flack for that, but like, it's true. Like, why do we need to get off on continuing to misgender them, continuing to dead name them, when who knows, maybe that's why they did what they did in the first place. Like yeah, I mean, those are things that statistically are shown to have a very negative impact on a trans person's mental health.
Yep. And they blame it that it was their mental illness to begin with that made it happen, rather than what you just said.
Yeah.
And they blame the person rather than the gun too. Like,
Oh, I know. It is guns. Look at, like, they won't be so quick to blame, you know, a white. Sometimes, honestly, like, they won't be so quick to blame a white kid. Like, they'll be like very like, oh, like, you never know what he was struggling with. Yeah, you never know what this kid was struggling with.
exactly.
And here's the thing. I want to make this very clear because I know that people are going to misconstrue our words because that's the internet. But we are not saying that what happened is justifiable.
Not at all.
What we're saying is that we need to start looking at why it happened. Mm-hmm. Why did this kid feel the need to pick up a gun and plan out a school shooting? Mm-hmm. And not just for this kid. We should be looking at this for every person. But a lot of the times, it's kids that are growing up with guns. Like, they're growing up around guns. They're growing up with guns in the home. They're growing up with access to guns. Mm-hmm. But, like, I think there's a very, like, distinct, because of the layers of this kid and the fact that they were trans, I think we need to start looking at, like, what can hate and discrimination and marginalization do to a person growing up? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It makes you hateful.
Mm-hmm. It's again, rather than blaming it on, because, like, hot take, yes, that kid is a murderer and they deserve to be in jail for the rest of their life.
Yeah, I mean, now they're not here, but yeah.
Yes, but the people who bullied him also murderers.
Yeah,
like, you are the reason why all of those people are dead now.
Yeah, that's a hot take, and that's facts. That's facts. What does hate do to a person? Like, I mean, really, that's a prime example. Like, that's a prime example. This kid felt like there was no way out.
Yep.
And this kid obviously, you know, and the thing too, like, there are probably obvious mental health issues that were going on with that kid, but a lot of that can stem from being trans in the South. Right. When you are trans in the South and you don't have access to gender affirming care, you don't have access to a school that lets you call yourself what you want and be who you are. I mean, my grandma had told me that in the South, a trans woman, and she legit cried when she read this. There was a trans girl in high school. They wouldn't let her walk at graduation because she didn't want to wear a suit. So she watched all her peers from the bleachers walk at graduation, and she couldn't get her diploma.
God.
Why do we do this to kids? God. Why do we send this message to the masses that, no, actually, you can't be who you are if we feel like it's not right?
For real. Like, I don't know. Nobody's worrying about what you're doing.
Exactly.
And how you're coming off when you're out in public acting like an idiot. Nobody fucking cares.
Screaming and doing whatever you do.
But if I wanted to, I don't know. It again, all of it always comes down to caring about the kids, other people's kids, and then religion. Mm-hmm. I think those
it is, because in the South, what is predominant? Religion is predominant.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, like, people need to wake up, dude. Wake up and look at the facts.
And talking about religion, I think you actually have it on your phone because my phone's running. But if you want to bring up that comment,
Let's talk about Susan for a second. Because, and here's the thing, dude. I knew going into this, not everybody's going to love what we have to say. But now I think people get to, like, people in our lives get to see firsthand, like, oh, now it's happening to us. Mm-hmm. Like, now we're speaking up and we're getting the hate.
So, for some context, what was it? It was episode 2. We were talking about Dylan Mulvaney. Yeah. And I said...
And wait, who is Dylan Mulvaney? If you just explain who
Dylan
it is.
Mulvaney is a trans woman who is... I feel like she's turned into the face for the trans community.
She is
right now,
and
which I'm so happy about because Caitlyn Jenner isn't anymore. And
That's Dylan.
Yeah, she's got like 11 million followers on TikTok right now. Like,
wow.
Yeah, no,
she met the president. She did,
and I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yep, and she got to ask him about trans people.
Yeah. No, I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
And she's known for documenting every day of her transition.
Mm-hmm,
so like she'll be like day whatever of being a girl. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of how she got big, right?
Yeah, and she's brave enough to put herself out there and speak up for the trans community, and people obviously a lot of people aren't going to like that and whatnot. And episode 2, I said that she was great and pure and that I loved her so much. And this middle-aged white woman named Susan, I'm assuming she's white because whatever, but this middle-aged woman, Susan, commented on our video. And do you have it?
I don't know if I have the picture. It's in our group chat, right?
Yeah, you can also go to my personal TikTok and pause it and read it.
Okay, sweet. I think I do just have the picture of it. Yep, got it. You want me to read it?
Yeah, read what Susan said on our last episode.
And we have a few others that we're going to highlight as well. You just lost me as a subscriber when you mentioned Dylan Mulvaney and how sweet he is. How naive are you? Dylan doesn't even take hormones, so how can he be a woman? He is a drag queen, full stop. If he was taking hormones in the last year, there would be a significant amount of change physically. Tell you the truth, I'm glad Dylan hasn't taken hormones. He is an actor. You guys are too young and don't remember what the world was like and how wicked and evil it is now. Stop what you're doing and turn to Jesus Christ. And not the fake Jesus believers who think it's fine to be gay. Wish you all the best. Goodbye.
Thank you, Susan.
Thanks, Susan.
Thanks, Susan.
Wish you the best, too. Get off my freaking post. Because you don't belong here.
I think that is so funny because Susan doesn't even realize that we're trans. Doesn't
she
even
followed
realize
us, bro.
The comment that Susan
subscribed.
left. Yeah, we were talking about months and how the dates work with months, and she was talking about. She commented before this.
That was her.
Yeah, she was like, I always remembered it by that song of the months of the year,
God, yeah.
and then I guess she commented that and then kept watching.
Realized that we are trans.
I don't think she ever realized that we were trans though. She just thought we were just
Joke's
talking about
her.
Dylan. That's so funny. And she said that Dylan doesn't take hormones. Okay.
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 First of all, she does.
How could you be so confident yet so wrong?
Yeah.
Like.
First of all, she does, and second of all, you don't know anything about that clearly. Like, because she is on hormones.
Drag queen, full stop.
Okay.
Like what? Again, people don't know the difference between drag queen and a trans person. I think that's a real problem.
I know that is.
Oh my God.
Yo, all right, let's go here. Andrage, we got. Love him. I'm gonna call him Andrage because I don't know how to. Oh, Adrian. All right, Adrian. Ever just try being normal?
Yeah.
Next, RC Morrow. Men don't belong in women's sports. Then Andrage comes back. Puking face.
And this was what video was this on?
This is on us talking about trans people in sports. And then Skeleto 2.0 comes in and goes, well, that's your life choice, and now everyone has to comply with your mental illness.
I saw that one last night.
Love that. Yeah, okay.
The mental illness is the only thing that they have on us, like.
But it's not a fucking mental. I don't have no fucking mental illness. I have depression and anxiety, and I'm
so
trans.
Does half the population.
Yeah,
like.
Exactly. And you know what? It gets exacerbated by the fact that I'm trans. Yeah. But being trans is not no mental illness.
No, that comment, I was gonna reply last night to the one that said men don't belong in women's sports. I was gonna be like, homie, I never said that. I was gonna be like, yes, cis men don't belong in cis women's sports.
Exactly.
I was gonna be like, homie, you missed something.
Exactly.
Reread.
Because guess what? Trans people are who they are, bro. If I'm a trans guy, I am a guy. You can throw the first part away. Mm-hmm. I include the first part because I'm proud of who I am. Mm-hmm. And I should not have to be.
There are a lot of trans people. This one girl on TikTok comes to mind.
Yo,
I don't remember her name. She's blonde.
Yes.
She's a trans woman. And she, along with other trans people, again, it's like the call is coming from within the house. Like trans people hating on other trans people about how we shouldn't be upset when we get misgendered and that she is okay. Like she was like, you know what? I don't feel like trans people should get upset when they get misgendered because if you know yourself and if you love yourself and if you have self-respect, then it shouldn't matter.
Cis people try to tell us that.
I know, like, homie, I love myself. I have self-respect. Doesn't mean I want to be called a female.
Exactly. Do you?
I think I respect myself. So I like that means that I'm not okay with it.
Exactly.
Like I love myself enough to speak up and say no. I go by he, him. And I think that's valid.
I'm
And if
gonna
you
look for this
don't,
girl.
I feel like you're deeply insecure about that. Hot take. Sorry.
No, that's facts. I also want to show the masses this.
Show the
This
masses.
is, you know how we talked about how Dylan Mulvaney could have responded to Caitlyn Jenner with a lot of hate? This is what she said.
If you're not Caitlyn, keep on scrolling. But if you do stay, I don't know, grab a beverage. Hi, Caitlyn. I'm Dylan. And we are two of the most privileged trans women in America at the moment. And with that comes a lot of responsibility. And although we have very different views on most things, a few days ago, I probably would have still been willing to sit down with you and try to connect with you in some way, because I automatically have a lot of respect for you as a fellow trans woman. But then you decided to ridicule me very publicly. And
Very
honestly,
publicly.
this tweet didn't faze me all that much. But then this one made me go, ah! Not you calling me a he. That is just, terrible. But then you didn't stop there. You said there is a difference between acceptance and tolerance, and normalizing exposing your genitals in a public way and a public place. I do not support that at all, in the slightest. Dylan, ... Congrats, you're trans with a penis. Girl, you're making me sound like I'm some creepy flasher exposing myself. I was wearing perfectly normal shorts at a mall.
It hurts.
See, the fact that that even goes on within our own community is very sad. Like, especially with somebody who has such a platform that can do a lot in our favor as somebody with a platform like hers.
I don't know, and this is just, I'm saying I specifically don't know. I don't know one thing that Caitlyn Jenner has done for the trans community
Not
to
one
help
thing.
it.
Not one thing.
I've
All
only
she's
ever
done
heard
is
hate
try to
from
be
her
conservative.
to get fucking cis male validation. Yeah. All right, it's time to wrap it up. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at HRT Podcast. And we do have a Patreon. We haven't put any content out yet, but we are going to very soon. So sorry if you've checked that out. Nothing's there. We're working that out. But
Give us your $5.
on Patreon, it's just HRT. And once that's out, if you want to follow us and subscribe, that would mean the world to us. But again, HRT Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. Subscribe, like, follow. We
got
appreciate you. And thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys. More
Bye.
content to come, baby.